StillTalking.com, episode 15. How you doing, Todd, on this Monday?
Doing great, Rob. Beginning of another week closer to football season.
Yes, I can't wait. Minkah Fitzpatrick, ranked number 18 in the top 100 players. What do you think about that?
Well deserved. I mean, that's what I would say to that. That guy, I mean, since he's came over in the trade with Miami, has been extremely solid. I mean, I could count on this hand the number of bad plays that he's had since he's been with the Steelers.
Yeah, and usually when he make a bad play, he's in position to make the play.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Man, what's good about this ranking? He's ranked number 18 and is voted on by the players. So the players know because they playing against him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's always good when you have the mutual respect of those folks that you're going against week in and week out.
Right. And then a lot of times when his players voting, it's not so much subjective because they out on the field.
Right.
They know. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe coaches might know, but that gets a little subjective too.
Sure.
Yeah. Minkah's first team All-Pro for 3 years in his career, 19, 20, and 22.
Yeah.
Man, that's on a Hall of Fame trajectory right there.
It is, if he can, maintain that and keep, getting those splash plays, Rob. I mean, can you imagine if he gets to the point where, he's snagging at least 4 interceptions a year?
Yeah.
And getting at least 1 pick six.
Yeah.
You're right. Those statistics over a 10, 11-year, 12-year career definitely going to add up. I mean, that's one of the things. I mean, to me, it's so hard. I mean, you look at, Rondé Barber recently got into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But for me personally, it is very hard to gauge the worthiness, especially Hall of Fame worthiness, of safeties. You had a guy like Ed Reed who was way out of the normal spectrum, who was a turnover machine.
Yeah.
Those are easy to look at and go, well, that guy, he jumped off the page, off the screen every game. He was making a big play. But if you got a guy that is maybe not a big play turnover guy, but does other things that maybe sometimes people don't see, it's a little bit harder to gauge the impact. But Minkah's doing a little bit of both. And
I think Minkah jumps off to me every game. He's doing something every game, and I'm like, okay, I'm glad we got him.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
No doubt, man. I mean, like I said, to me, he's got a little bit of the Reed Polamalu hybrid going.
Yeah.
He's extremely instinctive, like Troy Polamalu. He can get that early break and get into a zone or get into an area where he can take coverage off of a cornerback maybe a few steps before someone else would. And then again, knows when to jump around and get a turnover. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think he's heading in that direction, barring any health-related issues. I see no reason why he won't be in the mix after he retires.
I agree. Let's get into training camp, man. It's been a lot of highlights. A lot of these young guys are doing very well. JPJ and Darnell Washington, man, jumping off the page, like you say, as rookies. JPJ, since that play that made him a YouTube and social media sensation on the negative side, that practice he had an interception and had a good practice.
Again, Rob, him being, of course, there's no guarantee, but him being the son of a professional football player, to me, goes a long way.
Right.
I know he was a lot younger, but he watched his dad's career. His dad worked with him through high school, is sharing the things that he learned along the way, passing those along. giving him a nice stable base of what to expect and how to handle certain situations, like what happened against GP.
Right. Well, one good thing, he don't have to say if it was one of our kids, right, that made it to the pros. We never played pro ball.
Right.
They wasn't around the atmosphere. JPJ was around the atmosphere, running around like a little ball boy, seeing everything, be able to take it in, know what pro sports is about. You know what I mean? The competition, the what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word right now, but the conclusiveness of it. You know, you either got it or you don't. You either here or you ain't. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So is that a word? Ain't?
Yeah, it's like that's why those guys have got to be so confident. That's why I got to reel myself in and not be negative towards somebody like George Pickens. It's running his mouth and telling everybody how good he is. I understand that you got to have that mentality. I just wish maybe you'd not say it so much, but I appreciate the fact that the guy is uber confident in his abilities on the field. I would definitely rather have that than somebody that runs their mouth, obviously, and can't back it up on any level.
Right. Or don't have the confidence.
Right. Or it has just no confidence at all. You're right.
Yeah, I don't think you couldn't have no confidence and be in the training camp. Put it that way.
I wouldn't think so.
All right, man. Your main man, Kendrick Green, is making a comeback, baby, as a fullback H-back, Todd.
This is the typical Steelers, Rob, saying we don't want to give up on a third-round draft pick.
I agree.
We're not ready to cut the rope just yet.
I agree.
This is gonna be year 3 for him. So next year is technically, the end of his contract. This could be. I'm at a loss for words that I want to use to say that this actually, might be a good fit.
Yeah.
Bob Labriola jokes a lot when people will send him a message or a question into his show, and people will say, like in the middle of the year, well, why can't we change so-and-so from a safety to a linebacker?
Right.
Or from a defensive lineman to an outside linebacker? And he'll have some sarcastic retort to that, like, that's not reality. Yet here is a guy that, truly is an offensive lineman, even though obviously his productivity doesn't suggest that. But certainly he's got the athletic ability and frame size to be an O-lineman, still a little bit on the light side. But I got to say, I'll let you respond here. It's genius to me. It's a position that we need somebody in.
Yeah.
And that his athleticism seems to allow him to be possibly productive in that position. I'll let you go ahead.
Well, once Potterbomb left, right?
Yeah.
That opened up something. And last year, from what I hear, we were getting ready to play the Ravens, and they got a big fullback, kind of like Kendrick Green.
Yeah, Patrick Ricard,
Yeah, and in scout team, he was running that position. And apparently he must have opened up some eyes. Right. Did pretty good in scout team. And so this year when Potterbomb left, they said, okay, I'm pretty sure maybe he said something to the coach. Hey, why don't I try this? Or they said, hey, why don't you try this? We got a spot open. You did it last year for scout team. Why don't you come try out? And from what I hear, he's been doing good at it.
Again, we're not there in camp, Rob, so we don't know really how many plays he's run. And obviously, with what team is he running it with? Is it the first team? Is it the second or the third? But just the fact that here we are in camp, main camp. Yeah. And they're actually running a few plays suggests to me that they're seriously considering it. It would not surprise me at all in this first preseason game if he gets at least 6 or 7 plays in that position. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Well, if he makes the roster, this might be a chance for him to get a hat on Sundays. Because last year he was on the roster. He's on the 53-man roster, but he never got a hat all season. They carried him like that.
Yeah.
Free money.
Yeah, pretty much. Right?
Yeah. And this is third year, so after this year, if he make the team, he'll be vested to get his retirement.
Right.
Because they changed the rules from 5 to 3. So, and I'm pretty sure he wants to get out there and play, man. Any player want to be on the field doing something.
I mean, yeah, you want to feel like, you're doing your part to contribute to the team's success.
Yeah, and the team's getting ready to start going back up and start winning. So, I'm pretty sure he want to be out there, man.
No doubt.
Real quick, everybody that didn't like TE, I want y'all to answer this question out there. You too, Todd. TE is still playing. He not hurt right now. He practicing, right?
Yes.
We got safeties we brought in to replace TE that are sitting on the sideline looking hurt. So to me, when they did that move, when they let TE go, I didn't like that one. Out of all the moves, I liked except this one. And people don't like TE because he's a number 1 draft pick. Right. But hey, he's worth it. And he's showing he worth it. We're going to see this year. I hope Keanu Neal and I hope DeMonte Casey can get back to health and stay healthy all year. But I hope we do not rue the day we let TE go.
I mean, Rob, certainly he can be a difference maker. I just don't know if it's enough to warrant keeping him on long term. I mean, I could have seen us doing another 1-year deal, Rob, for whatever it was, $2 million, a little over $2 million. I wouldn't have a problem if they had re-signed him on another short-term deal. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's what he got from Philly.
Right.
Was something similar to that. So I think where you're going to see, I mean, really where TE is going to stand out, Rob, is as we get into the season, or obviously in certain downs and distances. Then it's going to maybe be a little bit more obvious. Like I told you offline over the last week or so, Keanu Neal is brand new to this system. At least Casey had 1 year, even though he missed over half of the season due to injury / suspension. But he did show some things towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
I think once Keanu Neal gets comfortable with what they're asking him to do and understanding what he's capable of doing, I think you'll see things smooth out. But certainly, if this current injury situation carries over into the preseason and these guys are not consistently available, then yes, I could see it becoming a problem.
Yeah, well, I hope they get back and get together.
No doubt.
I know TE to me was a perfect Robin to the Batman Minkah. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I think they understood each other pretty well. I mean, they were together for almost 3 years, about two and a half years. So you get extremely comfortable with the guys that you're back there with. Over time. And again, that's, a new relationship that's going to have to be generated between Minkah and both those guys that we just talked about. Yeah.
Well, time will tell. All right. Let's get back to training camp. 7 shots, right? Defense still winning. I think the offense won 1 time this week, which is better than they've been doing.
Right.
Because they didn't win none the first week.
Yeah. Again, the offense has not been together as long as the defense has. We got a quarterback that's going only into his first full season.
Right.
There's going to be some hiccups. We got new receiver in Allen Robinson. Granted, Pickens and Deontay.
Right.
they've got a fairly good relationship, I think, with Pickett. But again, it's just a matter of the new pieces fitting in, maybe Canada opening up this offensive scheme a little bit.
Right.
And then maybe that's when we'll see some productivity in some areas that we didn't see before, whether that's more chunk plays, more points per game, better third down efficiency conversion. To me personally, being a stats guy, those are the things that I'm looking at. For me to say at the end of the year that I was really pleased with the growth of the offense, it's going to be in those areas.
Well, you don't grow unless you have pain a little bit, right?
Of course.
So what I think the offense is doing, they taking their lumps, because our defense gonna be a top 5 defense. So if
I hope so. I really do.
Yeah, you going against a top 5 defense every day. Hopefully when we get in the games, it'll be a little bit easier to move the ball and do, those things on the goal line that we need to do. So to me, I don't see it as a negative that the defense is winning all the time, because most of the young players are on offense. Our offense is very young. Yeah. They still gelling, learning together. Now, by next year, they should be a lot better, I think.
I would agree. That's a reasonable assumption.
Yeah, so this year, take your lumps, get in the games, and let's go. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
All right, five steady players in camp this year, Todd. We ain't talked about them because they just been steady doing they do. Now, this first one, Levi Wallace, sometimes I complain about Wallace because I think he's a little slow of a foot.
And he is, Rob. I mean, I don't think even the most ardent Levi Wallace supporter really can't argue that.
Right, but he is available most weeks.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And he can play. It ain't like he can't play.
No.
So I gotta back off Levi a little bit.
Yeah, this may
just
be
don't
one
put
of those
him on
things,
those speed burners. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What I would say, Rob, is that whether it's you or me or whoever out there in Steeler Nation that maybe has been hard on him, well, this is the last year of his contract. If he doesn't come back next year for whatever reason, we may have a different song come next year. Whoever would fill that spot, more than likely it'd be JPJ. But you're right. He does the little things, Rob, that people don't notice. Right. I.e., knowing how to cover a guy in a given situation. Yeah. Not second guessing himself. Not playing so passive to give that guy extra space because you're unsure of what the receiver's going to do. Right. The guy is equally strong in various parts of coverage. It's not like he's super good at doing this and then horrible at doing that. He is average to above average in all the tangibles of being a cornerback. Yeah. I got a story too, Todd, real quick. It's a guy, CJ Wilson. He's a coach here in Fort Worth. He used to play for the Carolina Panthers. Well, he went to high school at real close to here. Can't think of the town right now. But he played for the Carolina Panthers and the Cowboys for a little bit. And I was interviewing him, and he said, man, and he played at Baylor too. My 40 time was 4.6, 4.7 coming out of college. And he played in the NFL. And I asked him, I said, he said, man, you got to have really good technique. And you kind of just got to know your body position and how to play. He said, it ain't all about speed, which me being kind of slow, that's what I used to say too. Oh, man. But anyway, that's kind of what Levi Wallace reminds me of. He just knows how to play. He definitely does. Definitely does. All right. The other players on this list, Cody White,
Pat Firemuth is getting overshadowed a little bit by Darnell Washington just because he's a big spectacle right now. But believe you me, Pat Firemuth is going to show up during the season.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. I'm expecting him numbers wise. I'm expecting him to have a big year. Yeah.
Yes. Isaac Siamalu, you don't never hear nothing about him. Steady Eddie. And Brendan Fehoko.
Right.
He hasn't overtaken Martavis on the depth chart, but he's right behind him. Speaking of depth chart, there's no real surprises on the depth chart that came out today. I think the depth chart released.
Okay, I have to admit I've not had a chance to look at it yet.
It's no surprises. If it was, I would have said something.
Right.
The only one, like I said, Fehoko is behind Montravius, but Montravius been that longer. So
absolutely.
All right, injuries. Nick Herbig had a hip flexor, and we talked about the safeties with their injuries.
Right.
Right, Todd?
Yes, sir.
All right, Todd. That's all I got, man. You got anything for the people before we get them out of here?
No, just looking forward to hopefully a clean and safe week of practice for the team leading up to the game on Friday night against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I think we're going to do for the game, we might do a show Saturday. That way we won't do a show before the game.
Right.
Give us something to talk about.
It sounds good. Hey, I wanted to throw this out there, and I apologize. I didn't jot the name down. The Steelers, apparently, I got off of a Steeler Depot site that they're bringing in an offensive lineman to take a look at, and he's somebody that was in no, he's actually a guard. He's actually played both right guard and right tackle. He was with the Ravens for a short bit. He was undrafted coming out of college,
right?
And the Ravens recently released him, but he brings a lot of size and athleticism, and as we have seen here, since we've had the change in upper management, that seems to be their profile of what they're looking for offensive linemen.
What is that, Todd?
But size and athleticism.
Size. Okay, all right.
Yeah, this guy's like 6'5", almost 330. So,
man,
unlike a Kendrick Green,
yeah,
he brings, a little extra weight and anchoring that Kendrick just can't do at this point. So we'll see what comes out of that.
Yeah. All right. Without further ado, we're gonna let them get out of here. Hey, everybody, if you like what we're doing, even if you don't like what we're doing, still subscribe.
We would appreciate it.
And we will start doing stuff that you like. We do, right?
That's right. Feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah, tell us what we're doing wrong. We'll make it right.
Sounds good, man.
All right, without further ado, here we go, Steelers.
Here we go.
Hoo, hoo, hoo.